All right, rundown. April 10th.
11th.
Yes. 11th. Brought to you by SXM app. Very difficult to pronounce, to be honest. SXM app. Listening to the Sirius XM app at home or anywhere you are. No car required. Stream it all on your phone, online, or at home. 425 channels are waiting for you on the Sirius XM app. Enjoy ad-free music channels for every genre, artist dedicated channels, and more. Catch live play-by-play games from every major sports league, NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL. 24/7 sports talk from the biggest name in sports. Stay informed with world-class news from every angle. Hear from the brightest stars in entertainment with original talk and exclusive comedy on the Sirius XM app. Sirius XM app exclusive include ad-free extra music channels, podcasts, including Sirius XM originals, and on-demand video of in-studio performance and interviews. Subscribe now. Get your first 3 months for free on the Sirius XM app. Visit SiriusXM.com/rundown offer to sign up. Offer details apply. SXM app. Okay. Masters. So we'll start with there. It was obviously the tournament. It sucked, right? Terrible tournament. I mean, Riggs, I'm curious on your take. I said it. Some golf people got mad. I love watching the Masters. There was just no drama. It's dramaless.
No, I get it. I saw your tweet. I think Kirk Minahan, that lunatic who I love, who loves the Masters more than anybody in the world, he tweeted, I think, worst Masters ever. So I get it. I was chatting with him. Look, if you're kind of a casual, you tune in for the back nine of the Masters every year. You want guys hitting in the water, missing putts, chaos, all kinds of bullshit down the stretch. You tune in and it's not great. And it's been like that for 3 years. Basically, the last 3 Masters. The last one that was really good and had all kinds of drama down the stretch was when Tiger won in 2019. From that aspect, I get it. But for anybody else that's pretty into it and gets enamored by all the pageantry and the Masters, it was fucking awesome. We had great.
So then you can never have a bad Masters by that logic.
Exactly.
The Masters.
Yes. I would argue you could never have a bad Masters.
That's crazy.
How is that crazy? If you're obsessed with everything that is the Masters from Sunday night when guys start to arrive on property and pictures start to leak out until the following Sunday, you're obsessed with every single thing that happens. The Masters have curated that for a reason. And yes, we're all obsessed with it. We all go nuts for it. We're going to go nuts for the Masters every year, whether somebody wins by 12 or if somebody makes a 20-footer on the 72nd hole to win.
But okay, so I agree with. I watched pretty much nonstop golf all weekend. I love watching the Masters, but I think Dave's right that it just wasn't that interesting on Sunday. Under what you just said, Riggs, that would be like a blowout in the Super Bowl and being like, well, the Super Bowl was still incredible.
No, because to me, that's like when you guys get excited about really good, hard-nosed, defensive, run-the-ball football. For me, that's fucking boring. I want to see Joe Burrow slinging it in touchdowns, and I would sit there and be like, that game fucking sucked. And I feel like people that are really into football and claim to know the X's and O's, the Stephen Chase of the world, would claim that any football game, if you really dig deep into it, was an excellent game. And then
I don't think anybody says like a blowout is a good Super Bowl. If someone wins by 30 and it's not close in the second half, nobody is like, that was a great Super Bowl.
Yeah, but if it was your team, if it was like the Patriots when you had Tom Brady and you guys were actually winning games, you'd be like, yeah, it was an excellent football game if they won by 30. You'd be like, that Super Bowl was the best Super Bowl I've ever been to. He's the greatest. He put an exclamation point in his career.
No,
blah, blah,
I mean,
blah.
You always enjoy it, but like under that analogy, and like like targeted win, but that would be like the Malcolm Butler or the 28-3 being at that Super Bowl would be better if the Patriots just won a non-memorable.
I'm not saying that there aren't Masters that are better than others. I mean, we sit there and rank what's the best fucking Masters of all time, from Nicklaus in 86 to Tiger in 2019. We rank that Masters could be better than other Masters, but overall, we're starting at a 9 out of 10. And there's almost nothing that's going to make it less than like a 9.
I guess it's just a different, that almost to me is an injustice to the Masters that are great. If the ones that aren't great are a 9 and the best you can be is a 10.
Yeah, that'd be like Dave doing pizza reviews and it's either 9 or a 10.
I don't agree with that.
And that's golf people. Golf people get bent out of shape.
Yeah, because
you're finding that out. You're finding that out on Twitter. Golf Twitter is the worst place in the world. I mean, people that are responding to your, I mean, we bitch about hockey Twitter and all this. Golf Twitter is the worst, most irrational group of people on the internet. And Dave, you're finding that. I can understand that you thought the Masters sucked from your vantage point. I don't find that to be surprising. Yes, we love Scotty Schefter. I had him on the show. He's a huge Barstool fan. The guy fucking DM'd the main account a couple years ago when he was in New York and was like, hey, can I come in and see The Office? He's the man. But we were still rooting on Saturday a little bit for like Scotty Schefter to make a double or two so the tournament is more interesting. I concede that and I understand that.
It has nothing to do with Scotty Schefter either. It's just that when there's no one close, like even the moment when Cam Smith had that birdie and it was like 3 and then he went in the drink the next hole, it was like, well, fuck. Like there was those like couple moments on Sunday where like, oh shit, this might be a real thing. Even Scotty Scheffler kind of struggling the first 2 holes, but it never really materialized. And that's like, I like watching the Masters regardless. I understand that point, Riggs, and I agree with you on that point. Like I could just watch the Masters, but I was sitting there on Sunday afternoon being like, damn, I wish this was a lot closer.
Also, I don't disagree.
It diminishes like the Rory chip. Yeah, it's cool, but it's like meaningless. It's like hitting a home run in like a 7-run game. Like who fucking cares?
Yeah, if you have to cling to that as one of the great moments and he just finished solo second, then on the dramatic standpoint, I agree. Back 9 on Sunday at Augusta, you want fireworks, you want roller coaster, you want lead changes. And when you don't get that, it totally diminishes.
So where do you put
in the grand scheme of things?
Where do you put the Rory shot on the pan? Like, to me, that's a nothing shot down the road. Like, yeah, people remember it, and it got him solo second, but like, who cares?
Well, it could be contextualized if he now gets over the hump again and starts winning. People will look at that and be like, that moment got Rory to that. But right now, no. As it stands, he didn't win the tournament. If you don't win the tournament, people really
didn't even come close.
Don't care that much.
He didn't really come close. Also,
no, I agree that it was cool in the moment, but nobody's going to, in the long term, remember that as an important shot unless Rory catapults Rory to winning all kinds of majors. But even then, I mean, it was one shot. And
it wasn't even cool in the moment. Fucking Faldo ruined it.
That was unbelievable.
And then Nance ruined the next one. Nance ruined the next one. They went like 1 for 1. Nance was like, oh, you want to ruin that? Watch me ruin Morikawa.
They're brutal in general. Like Faldo is just brutal. He's lost his mind. I feel like he doesn't really know. He has no, like the best call Faldo's ever had is the 2.5 minutes after Tiger won the Masters where they didn't say a word while he just walked into the clubhouse. That's the best call that they've had. We didn't have audio because we were at Barstool River North. So we saw everybody tweeting about it, went back and watched it. I mean, for them to be like, we don't want to spoil it and then cut to it. It's
brutal.
I mean, what are they doing?
Brutal. Well, I don't think they had a choice. It's like, I don't think you're expecting Faldo to do that. And then obviously the last major story.
Oh, go ahead.
You got something, Big Cat?
No, go ahead. I'll have something after.
Tiger, obviously. It was, I guess, great that he played. I do not like Tiger. No one will ever get me on the Tiger thing. I think it is. He got in that car accident because he was like high on pills, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Unconfirmed. I mean, with the information, you go look at the the police report from.
He got beat up by Elon.
The police report was
LA County.
The police report was never released.
Shout out to Deputy Villanueva there, who made sure of that. By the way,
who said, Tiger.
He literally arrived on site and was like, "I'm going to shut this down right now," and we don't know exactly what happened. Look, Tiger Woods is, are you nervous, Dave? Are you nervous we're going to have another Tiger Woods moment now? Are you nervous he's going to have another, send you with your tail between your legs out the elevator and act like you have a phone call moment?
I mean, he was basically the worst player on the weekend.
He almost amputated his leg. He's
back from a car accident that was self-inflicted. Most of his injuries. Listen,
we all make mistakes. We're all human beings, including.
Well, that was the second time that he was documented driving under the influence.
And I'm fine with
car accident for
whatever it may be. There's a lot of people, I think it was you, Riggs, who said greatest ever, who I replied with the picture of Jack. Like, and then I'm seeing Tiger sycophants be like, well, he played this many more tournaments, this, that. Well, yeah, because Jack wasn't fucking a bunch of whores, didn't get beat up by his wife with the golf club, isn't driving around high on pills, getting in accidents. That being healthy is part of any athlete's body of work, staying on the field. If Tiger wasn't, and by the way, Dan, I've said this, to me, Tiger is a little bit of why I don't like Coach K, because I don't think the guy you get is the real guy. Just be yourself, and I root for you. But there's something that's high and mighty and icky for me whenever I watch him. Like everyone's giving us all coming back from this car accident, like he got fucking, hit by a drunk driver. No, he was the fucking guy driving. Lucky he didn't kill somebody.
Well, the wife comment, that's unconfirmed. I mean, for all we know, Elon heroically saved a man.
She beat him up with a golf
for many years. In terms of the DUI thing, there was one incident in Florida where he hurt nobody, and he, did his appearance in court for that. So you could kind of let him off there. And then the last one, it's all in the police report, and there's no confirmation whatsoever he was under the influence. Look, Tiger Woods is obviously a flawed person, as we all are. The fact that he continues to come back when everyone says he's fucking done, when people said 10, 11 years ago, he's done, he should retire. People made fun of him and said he'll never come back, including 2 of the 3 people on this very show. The fact that he continues to return, the fact that he showed up at Augusta when no one on earth thought he was going to play. He had to limp his ass around there. He played in the final on Sunday with the number 1 ranked player in the world as of 2 weeks ago, which was John Rahm. They had the same fucking golf tournament. He beat Xander Schauffele. He beat Jordan Spieth. He beat a lot of stars in the game. And this is just his ceremonial little return. So if you're not excited, like all Tiger Woods fans are obviously jacked up, because this is just the beginning of yet another comeback. We like to use that as cliche, make fun of the guy. The fact that he's even fucking walking is incredible. He has to get up like 4 hours before he tees off, do ice bath, all kinds of work, tee off, then go straight to the ice bath for like 10 hours and do that just to play 1 round of golf. It's inspirational. Is the guy flawed? Yes. I don't know why you have to go on every outlet and call him a fraud. Like,
I didn't go on every outlet. They asked me a question, and I
what do you mean he's a fraud? Like, why is he a fraud?
What outlet, Dave?
I was on Fox Business, and they asked me about the Masters, and they asked me a Tiger Woods question, and I answered it in a way that is truthful. And he's a fraud in that I do think he comes across as the most moral guy. He has made mistakes, but I don't know. He comes across as smug and arrogant still to me to this day. And by the way, I don't know why it's the only sport. Like, I'm not allowed to root against the guy. Like, people go bananas. How can you root against Tiger?
That is true, Riggs. I'm not. I obviously have trolled in the past about Tiger, but I root for Tiger when he was there. I not only bet on him, but he is better for golf. It's more interesting when he's involved.
It's infectious, baby.
I absolutely think that. My whole point with Tiger has always been when everyone's like, he's back. Like, no, dude, have some respect for like the most dominant run we've ever seen any athlete ever, pretty much, when he 97 to 09. Like, that was an insane thing that we'll probably never see again in golf. So whenever someone's like, he's back, it's like, no, dude, he's not back. He'll never be back to what we saw. And my big thing, Riggs, and I wonder what you say, like, I got all the Tiger fanboys up my ass on Sunday because I was like, it's kind of depressing watching him limp around and suck right now on Sunday. And that wasn't like saying that like it sucks that Tiger. I'm saying watching him be a shell of himself on Sunday wearing the red at Augusta was a bummer to me.
That was embarrassing. You should have saved the red.
That was a bummer to me, Riggs. People were all up in my ass. I was like, all I'm saying is I'd rather, like, Thursday happened and we all, and you'll admit it, Riggs, we all had the same thought because I had it and you definitely had it. You vocalized it like, oh shit, this guy's going to be in the contention this weekend.
I mean, I'd put money responsibly in the Barstool Sports book for that man to win the Masters tournament. So don't get me wrong. But look, I agree with you. On the weekend, it is depressing. I expect that man every time he hits a golf ball to hit it better than anyone else on earth. I get that. But what you like, and yes, there's going to be a certain percentage of oversensitive fans of every fan base that are going to be fucking stupid and ruin it. No, I'm not. Like, when you tweeted that you thought the Masters sucked, or when you're Big Cat, like when you're saying that, yeah, it's disappointing. I'm
Who's
not
the best golfer of all time in your mind?
Tiger Woods.
See, I agree with Riggs.
No,
I agree with Riggs.
How? Because he's been the most dominant by far. If you took 2 players or 5
he doesn't
players,
have Jack has a beat in every single category.
If you took 5 players that were playing the best golf of their career ever and had them play like 10 tournaments against each other, Tiger Woods at his peak would dominate that tournament series.
So Pedro Martinez is the best pitcher of all time.
I don't know. I don't watch anything but golf, but that's my stance.
But I mean, but you're going in like short. It's the spectrum. He couldn't. Bo Jackson.
It was not short. It wasn't short. Well, it was an extended run of dominance.
And it's not over. That's the beauty of it. When we talk about
it's over.
He's back. It's not fucking over. You said that so many times have been wrong.
I'm not saying it's over. I don't think. I don't think he's gonna be. I hate when people are like he's back. He's not back. He never will be back, but he could win
back,
another major.
But being back doesn't have to mean that he's back winning every major at like a 50% clip. Being back is like, you guys know when you're
point. That's when your team, that stretch was insane, and that will never be seen again.
Fine, well, I could see that, but when your team wins a title, it's about that ride, that journey, those fucking overtime moments when you're sitting on the edge of your seat. The fact that Tiger Woods is playing golf again means we get those moments. We get to be nervous on the first tee. We get to be nervous when he's over a 6-footer to save par to keep a round going. Like the fact that we get to experience that is awesome.
Your analogy of what you said, the best golf in a short span, the peak, like you're probably gonna have David Duval in that tournament.
No, but okay, but
fine. Then
right? A combination.
How about Scotty Schefter last month?
The guy's got 15 major championships and 82 career wins.
But who has more? Jack. Who has more wins? Who has more Masters? Who has more majors? Jack.
Tiger's
the only reason he doesn't is because this guy is a pervert off the course.
And if that's true, then you're conceding that he's the best player of all time. The only reason that he doesn't necessarily have that number is not because he's not the best player of all time. It's because of all this other stuff.
Well, that was also because he played Call of Duty with the Navy SEALs for 5 years and fucked up his back.
So fine, you could say that he did dumb shit off the course, but we're talking about, is he the greatest golfer of all time?
No,
so then what I would say is fine.
No, he isn't.
He doesn't, because he hasn't racked up the greatest career of all time, but he's the best golfer of all time.
We're playing a semantics game.
I think he's the best.
On the rundown? No way.
I agree with you.
Yes.
I agree with you.
It's black and white. It's who has the most majors. And he probably would have if he didn't go on that sprint.
And he still might. And he still might, which is what's exciting.
And if I still might.
How many does he need?
He needs 3 more to tie, 4 more to win.
No chance.
You've said that so many times. You've been so fucking wrong.
He won one. Listen, if I could have put a prop, is he gonna injure somebody drunk driving again or win 2 more Masters? I'd take the drunk driving.
I'd probably take that as well.
He's shown no ability to stay out of trouble off the course.
Riggs, so you agree with me that my tweet wasn't that crazy? Because I had the fanboys, all I was saying was what, and that's kind of been my point with Tiger for a while now, is I remember watching Tiger during that peak when he was fucking Tiger was plus 150 to win the Masters during those years. It was that crazy that for people who are younger don't realize it was literally the bet would be Tiger versus the field. That's how good he was. Dude, watching him hobble around on Sunday and bogey. I'm just this kind of is a bummer.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, the guy, he won 4 majors in a row, one of them by 15, one of them by 8. And
he won the Masters by 12.
Was embarrassing people. So I get that we'll never be back to that. But again, as a sports fan, yes, you love it's so cool to cherish it and rub it in other people's fucking faces when your team or your guy wins. What it's really about is that entire process and the journey and going nuts when good things happen. And that's Tiger. The fact that we get to do that again is why we're so excited. And yes, it is depressing when he doesn't play well.
If you clap for every single shot, then you're really not rooting for anybody. I don't know.
You don't clap for a first down. You don't clap for a first down. I mean,
just for my team.
We're talking about here.
Just for my team.
Okay, golf's different.
I don't clap when the opponent gets a first down. It makes no sense. If you're rooting for Tiger, but then you're rooting for the guy ahead of him too, clapping, he's never going to catch him because you're rooting for everybody.
There's not 156 teams in a football game. There's 2. It's obviously more clear cut. Golf is different. I
don't go root for my opponents or I'm not rooting for Ohio State unless there's money when they're I just don't get golf. People have a big problem. People go crazy when I root against Tiger Woods. And it's doubly crazy because and again, I could care less. Everyone's a scale. I want him to own it. I don't think he does. That's why I don't like him. But he's not Mother Teresa. People act like this guy's cured cancer. No, he hasn't. He's very good at golf. He's a crazy person. He's a deviant, not on the golf course, and actually a menace to society.
He's an inspiration to society and has
until you end
inspired millions of people to accomplish great things, including this entire crop of golfers that are now coming up and making millions of dollars.
If he ran your mother over drunk driving, you wouldn't root for him in the next turn. He's lucky.
We're going to play if all day long. He did.
The man.
That's not that crazy hypothetical.
It isn't.
It's still a hypothetical, Dan.
Well, no, actually, not really, because he has 3
multiple.
Yeah,
multiple. He shouldn't be allowed. He's lucky he's on the course.
He's not a great driver of a car.
Yeah, okay? The story arc like I was happy again. I was happy that he was playing. It was fun to watch him. I end up finding myself rooting for him. I do think it's ridiculous when people are like, this guy has battled everything in the last 18 months. Like, dude, he was fucking dangerously driving a car under the influence.
Correct. And why do like even Brady,
even
I like Tom Brady, people root against. You don't have that like outpouring of like, how dare you root against him? Like, but Tiger, I think I'm the only one on the internet who's rooting against him.
You might be. You actually might be.
Yeah.
Rick Riley.
Well, I may have to I find out where he lives and just have pedestrians walking around his house at all times till he clips one of them, and then we'll see.
Well, who's a menace to society now?
Well,
Jesus.
You're not a menace if you can soberly drive your car.
Which for the last year and a half, he seems to be fine. That's why he's on this comeback.
He can't actually drive with his fucking leg.
Shouldn't be driving anyways. He should have a fucking driver, that guy. I don't
understand.
Yes.
Why does he not
behind
have
the wheel of the car?
Because he's richer than God.
He has absolutely no responsive. I think if you asked them in a candid moment, who's at fault for any of the incidents, he would never blame himself. He'd be like, well, the car, like it was Elon, it was whatever. Yeah, whatever.
You got to be a little delusional to be great. You got to be a little delusional. That's fine.
I love him in golf. Like I truly do. It's so much more interesting. It's kind of wasteful when he's just like sucks like he did this past weekend. So if he's in it, I think it's cool. I'd love for him to be in the mix. I'd love for it. There's nothing I want more to watch him fail late on a Sunday.
There's nothing we like Saturday. More than when he succeeds late on Sunday and it kicks you right out of the building.
He is the most interesting dude.
I got a phone call, Riggs.
He is the most interesting dude in
fraud.
like all
Who's
sports.
a fraud now?
All his like issues and everything.
Right.
It is fascinating.
So like either of you, honestly, and Riggs made something. I don't think anybody truly knows anything about him.
Agreed.
Which makes him more interesting.
That makes me be like, I can't root for that. Like, I want to like feel like something. This guy, he's so careful, calculated, smug to me. And even when all the shit went, I never felt like there was truly a change in his behavior or attitude. So that's why I don't like him. All right.
That's why I like him. He's interesting. He's intriguing and he's the best. So
he's really not. He's a very boring person, except then you hear like, he's actually not boring, but he acts boring. But like if we had like one of those dog cameras on him so we could see what he's up to when he's not on the course, I think we'd be shocked.
Yeah, he's like mysterious and intriguing. That's what you're describing right now.
Well,
like,
you'd have to have like a button like, oh, he's getting ready to drunk drive again.
That's not confirmed. So, and he wasn't drinking. He had a pills and a cocktail.
Pills, pain meds, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure he won't need them.
Florida. Well, the Jupiter police are on the list, by the way. I don't know how they didn't take care of that situation.
Yeah, it's also like the guy ice baths, and I don't even know he's taking an ice bath, if we're being honest. He talks about it, but I don't know. I don't know that he is.
All right. Now you're just okay.
I can't lift my shoulder, and I played around with Ricky Fowler. I wasn't.
Maybe you should take a fucking ice bath.
I wasn't in no ice bath.
No complaints from
maybe
Dave
that's why you can't lift your shoulder.
Yeah, but I played through it.
I saw you saying he wasn't going to finish the tournament. He was going to pull. Hey, that didn't happen. He finished.
I would have lost. I would have lost. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would have lost.
You did lose.
Well, he sucked. I would have lost.
Can I ask one last question, totally aside? What's up with Bryson? Like, I actually am curious. I honestly don't know. Like, obviously, Brooks didn't make the cut either. But like, is he injured?
I don't know, because there's all the Saudi Arabia stuff going on at the same time. So people didn't know if it was because he's injured. Is he just claiming he's injured because he's not playing on the tour? Is he going to go to this other league? And then he showed up and played a couple tournaments. He hasn't made a cut. He's played horrible. But then he like stuck around to claim that he was going to watch Tiger Woods play. He's just a weird guy, which I don't mind weird, but he wants to be image-wise what Brooks Koepka is. He wants to be considered like this cool athlete, and he's just not. I wish he would lean into being just a weird scientist.
Nerd, yeah.
Golf is strange. People catch lightning like this run is better than anything Tiger's ever done. What Scheffler's on, and we mentioned Dave.
True.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Who's the fastest golfer ever to get number one world ranking?
4 majors in a row.
Who fastest to number one ever? He's already made the most money of any golfer.
He's 25. Tiger was number one when he was like 21 years old in the world.
Tiger won the Masters by 12 strokes when he was like 20 years old.
A win is a win. I don't care if you win by 100 or like 5. What he's done, that stringing this together, is the best start to a career of all time.
It's from the first win to winning this major. It's as good of a run as there's ever been. Absolutely.
Okay,
but it's not Tiger. He's 25 years old. Tiger was 21 when he won the Masters 97 by 12.
Well, he didn't have a psycho dad who was probably making him play with his one.
Maybe he should have had one, and then he'd have more fucking majors.
And then
he
he'd probably driving
old.
drunk and fucking smashing
with
people
the pill.
in his
He
car
wasn't drunk.
and high at all times.
One time he was under the influence. The other
having
times
the
are
most beautiful
unconfirmed.
wife in the world, but fucking 3,000 hookers and just being a maniac. David Duval, we mentioned him. Even Spieth, like did Spieth
bringing David Duval? What's David Duval have to do with any of this?
At one point, he was the best golfer on the world, and he just disappeared.
VJ?
Look, Scotty Scheffler is on an insane.
I didn't know that this didn't turn
run.
into a Scotty Scheffler roast.
Scotty Scheffler's a man. Let me ask you, we'll clean it up with this. I had the debate. Would you consider Scotty Scheffler a hoss? I think he's a hoss.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a big dude. He's got hoss energy.
He's got huge jaw. Huge jaw.
Who's that pitcher? Angels, Red Sox. I called him Big Hoss. He was pretty good.
Are you talking about John Lackey?
Yeah, John Lackey was like a big hoss.
Yeah, and Jim Thome, that's what I like. He actually kind of looks like Jim Thome, like country strong. Like Scotty Scheffler gets in an issue on the course and he's like, I'll just fucking smash my way out of this.
Yeah.
He's a huge guy. He's a hoss.
Yeah.
Yep. Ronaldo is in some hot water because he smashed what?
Jail. He should be in jail.
He smashed a phone. If Tiger did that, everyone would be like, "Oh my god, that's the best thing we've seen."
Riggs would be like, "Why is the kid there?" Yeah,
yeah, he's competitive. That's spirit. You don't put a phone in his face walking off the course.
Tiger hypothetical. I'm just getting hit with Tiger hypothetical. Why can't we focus on what he's actually done?
I actually don't think this is that big of a deal. He's upset. The phone's his face. He smashed it. Of course, he's autistic. That happens. Big Cat. Remember when I talked about that guy eating a hot dog? There was a guy in the front row of an NHL, a kid eating a hot dog without a bun. I'm like, this kid's raw dogging that hot dog. Turned out autism.
Like a savage, you said.
Yeah, like a savage. And then it turned out he had autism after. And I had to call the family. I'm like, I didn't know. It's like he's just eating a hot dog without a bun. I thought it was a savage move.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, what? Ronaldo's supposed to know the kid has autism?
That was actually they should teach that story, Dave, in like internet lessons, because I remember after that it was like always like when you take a shot of someone in the crowd, you like have to like double check, like okay, all right, we can post this. Yeah.
Early Barstool, which we won't say more, you like put a yellow hat on the autistic kids. So like as athletes are going, they can spot them, be like, no. We won't say that anymore. But like, I mean, it's just a slap.
What was the story? The best part about this story, by the way, was there was a Twitter thread from, I think it was like the newspaper in the town. And at the end, it was like, if you have any more details about this incident, it's like, what are we talking about? The whole thing's on camera. Like we saw it.
Obviously it's a dick move, but it's being blown into like.
I don't like Ronaldo, so I'm saying jail.
Yeah, I think he's not. I mean, people that don't like him fucking despise the guy. But if he was scoring a bunch of goals and they were just winning games, or once they get to that point again, I don't think anybody would care about something like this.
I have another Tiger question. You guys know a lot of people on the tour. Is he? I'm not going to ask it because you're not going to answer it honestly.
You can ask.
Is he well liked on tour? Is he well liked on tour?
Yes.
I don't believe.
I would say and Riggs obviously knows way more about the tour and the guys. From the people I've talked to, Tiger Woods is a lot different now than he was 5 years ago. And he's a lot more human-like now than he was 5 years ago. So yeah, I think people like, it used to be that he was not well liked at all. And now he's like actually a guy that people can talk to.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. And I think too, Tiger is, we all want him to be kind of this mega star, mega athlete, star. And in reality, I think he's a little almost more Bryson-esque where he's just a golfer. Like that's what he likes. He likes being nerdy about golf and spin rates. And that's what he wants to talk about. And that's what he cares about. So from what I've heard from those guys, like they don't dislike him, but that he's pretty much just going to be not broy or cool or like sarcastic or funny. He's mostly just going to want to talk to you about really nerdy golf stuff.
Again, I can't find the clip, but my decision on Tiger Woods was made when Stanford beat a buzzer beater versus somebody, and he stormed the court and then got nervous storming the court. That if we find the clip, That's when I decided I don't like this guy, and I haven't liked him since. And it's
hard to tell.
It sort of bothers me. I don't mind rooting for him. I get. The hate I get for rooting against him is uncivilized.
You deserve it.
Adam Schefter, bad tweet. Obviously, super sad story, and I don't know how you. I mean, it's crazy. The reaction obviously was pretty strong when he mentioned. Obviously, the tweet was basically struggled with the Redskins, so just went crazy viral in a weird way, overshadowed the actual sad story, which is, I mean, the whole thing just a tragic story. But Russian and Schefter, I saw something. It was who's the other commentator? There's
Gil Brandt,
right? But no, a coworker was like, I forget his name, Louis Riddick. He's like, he apologized privately to me and everybody. So just a crazy story all the way around.
Yeah, I thought it was very weird. Like, obviously a bad tweet, but I was uncomfortable with the fact that the whole day became about Schefter's tweet, and all these people that are like offended by Schefter's tweet and being like, how could you do this? Like, you're almost it's very weird how it's like becomes then Schefter instead of remembering Dwayne Haskins.
Yes.
And like,
agreed.
I mean, I'm a hypocrite with this because I've obviously like taken part in like the dunking on people, but I try not to do it as much now because I think there's something about like when the internet's like, oh, this bad tweet, and like people who show up like 2 hours later re-dunking. It's like, what are you doing? There's nothing you're proving here.
And there is a difference between dunking on somebody in like a not serious story,
right?
Like when Brady retirement, for example, versus tragic death. So
right.
Sad story.
Like the people, he deleted it and then, tweeted obviously a much better version. And then a bunch of the replies were screenshots of the original being like,
right.
You think we forgot? And I'm like, well, no, shouldn't you want everyone to kind of forget that and just remember, Dwayne Haskins and the tragedy in the right way, not like Schefter's mistake?
I also will say maybe Schefter, like once you fucked up, I don't know that you're going to re-report the death, but just be like, I screwed up with that tweet. And like not nice, but like, I don't know what I was thinking. That was a total idiotic move. Like I want to withdraw myself from the confrontation. Like he didn't have to re-report that death. Everyone fucking knew about it.
And I don't know like what he was thinking. I don't think that he was doing it in a mean manner. I think he's just a robot of a reporter who sees something and like doesn't factor in the human element. So you could criticize him for that. Like, dude, be a human for a minute. But I don't think he was doing it to like trash Dwayne Haskins. He just fucking didn't think. And again, it's just
rush to be first and report
and it
news.
Just goes
and
back
no
to
sensitivity,
like,
right?
Yeah, just how stupid it becomes that it's everyone's like, I had people tweeting me like, how have you not said anything about Schefter? It's like, why am I going to say something about Schefter right now? Like,
right.
He fucked up. And like, if I say something about Schefter 5 hours later, now Schefter's trending and Dwayne Haskins isn't. It's weird.
Right.
The Gil Brandt thing was weird too.
Yeah, that was very strange.
And bad.
Correct. He basically said he was, for
Asking
those who didn't see it. Yeah. By crossing the street. Right. NBA playoffs pretty much set. LeBron's out of it. I'm curious to see what he does to try to hijack the playoffs, which he will do.
Press conference today.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. What he said.
It was like an end of the season. Like, I got to be better. Like, I like Russell Westbrook as my teammate, even though he probably is telling them to trade him, behind everyone's back. Yeah, it was.
Are you bummed, Dave? Are you bummed that he's not in it? So you don't get some sort of
nope.
Really?
Nope.
I think 5 years ago, you would have been bummed. Now, like the NBA has so many good stars, young stars.
And I also I do believe, and people again will say I'm a hater. I don't count the bubble. The bubble was some aberration where you don't play road games. He hasn't won a playoff series with the Lakers outside of the bubble, which is not a championship in my mind. So his tenure in LA has been a total, complete, abject failure. He's left them in ruins, and to me, has shattered his legacy.
That was just putting it lightly.
I think there's a lot of truth to it. And these guys, by the way, are poised to make a run. We may have Brooklyn in the first round. So Kyrie Celtics, very interesting.
I was gonna say, Dave, you guys got karma because I thought, the Bulls are just a mess and they're gonna get killed by the Bucks. But the last week I've been seeing who's gonna get the 3 seed, who am I gonna have to die and watch it happen. And I was thinking to myself, obviously you and Hank down my throat, Ronan, Smitty, what Packers fans. But I think the Celtics have the most karma now because they didn't duck. The Bucks didn't play anyone yesterday. They basically were we want to play the Bulls, which I get because the Bulls are objectively a bad basketball team since January. But in terms of karma, I feel that always evens out where the team that doesn't try to play the games to get the perfect seeding usually ends up
I kind of love Cleveland +8 against Brooklyn in a playoff game too, just as a side note. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I think the Phoenix, I looked at them, the Suns, I bet them last year to win. They lost in finals, obviously. I think they were very low odds. I think +250 to win the whole thing.
Yeah, the bet I am going to place. I got to drive to New Jersey and do it, but just a rematch. Bucks Suns in the finals is +600. I think everyone's playing the game where it's oh, watch out for Kevin Durant, watch out for Kyrie. The Celtics are very good. The Heat, are getting forgotten, but it's just at the end of the day, Giannis is just on a tear.
Yeah, and I mean the Sixers and Doc Rivers. I mean that speech he gave he has gone from what I would say is a universally likable, lovable guy when he was the Celtics coach to just the worst.
Yeah,
Universalably was
I said it right, Riggs. The universal belief. Your eyes just starting to get fucking crossed again. I wasn't gonna say it, but
I could tell.
Well, you're gonna throw an insult. They are.
Fun fact, I never been to an NBA game. Never.
What? I guess that makes sense. St. Louis.
We never had a team, so I just never been to an NBA game.
Yeah, that's
what I got.
Yeah, that's actually.
That's believable. Last thing here. I'm just fascinated by this whole Elon Musk thing. But so he's bought 9% of Twitter. They made this big to-do, this announcement. He's going to join the board of Twitter. Now he's retracted. He's not going to join the board. The CEO did a letter basically being it's good he's not joining after saying it was good he was joining. And I think we're about to see, which will be a fascinating business case in a movie down the road. He's going to try to do a hostile takeover of Twitter. So part of joining the board is you could only own 14.9% of the company. By not joining the board, he can own as much as he fucking wants. I think we're going to see a hostile takeover. He's still tweeting about it a lot. I'm pretty excited to see how this plays out.
Look, one thing I love about Elon Musk, you hate or love the guy. He's doing what basically a child would do if you just had the most money in the world, is just buy shit and fuck with them. He bought 9% of Twitter and then was tweeting about how shitty Twitter is. He was just tagging their biggest users, being do they even tweet? Justin Bieber's only tweeted once in the last year. So I also looked at $274 billion he's worth. I didn't even know that number. Last time I looked, they were in the ones. I thought they were
world's richest man. I think, right? Is he world's the richest man? I'm pretty sure
he's the world's richest. But I love that he just buys shit and fucks with them and acts like any child would with unlimited money. It's if I was, when you're 7 years old, you'd be I would just buy New York City and turn it into a Chuck E. Cheese full of tunnels and shit. That's basically what he does on shit that he's interested in. So I fucking love it. I hope we get a hostile takeover.
He needs to buy a sports team. That's the only
I don't think they'd let him. That's one of those things where it's nobody can prevent him from buying Twitter. If he just wants to go buy the stock, you buy it. Sports, you got to get approved. You got to do I remember Cuban talking about he wanted a baseball team. He couldn't get approved. That's the only thing where, yes, you need the money, but it doesn't guarantee you anything. It's the old boys. And I don't see a lot of the sports leagues wanting him because he's so controversial. You don't know what he's going to say.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
Sports. Does he care about sports?
I don't think so.
Seem his kid's name's .84ZY.
Yeah,
I don't think that's sports.
Whenever I think of a rich guy and doing everything you'd want to do, it's you have to buy it. Doing anything you want to do, and I think Dave, you obviously agree. You buy an NFL team and you just fucking run it like Jerry Jones.
100%. That we're normal guys. He is not. So I don't think that was on his list. He's like, I'm going to fly to outer space and bring like people with me. Who knows?
Yeah, like I want a Super Bowl. I want to win a Super Bowl.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be fun. Anything post show?
No. Riggs, where are you now?
I'm in Pinehurst, my spot.
When is Classic starting?
Classic started. We got our third stop is tomorrow in Atlanta. So I'm kind of on my way, stop by and drive down to Atlanta tonight. And, we'll be in fucking Atlanta. How about Frankie and I last week slept in the Atlanta airport? Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
No.
Oh my fucking God, dude. We were supposed to take an 11 o'clock PM flight from Atlanta to Chicago. And we drive 2.5 hours through this rainstorm. We were at the Masters. Great tournament, by the way, no matter what, starts at a 9. And we get there and we go on the fucking tarmac. For 2 hours, we can't take off because of lightning. Now it's 1 a.m. They kick us off the plane because the pilot's timed out. It's like the FAA,
Yeah,
whatever.
you can only fly hours. Yeah.
Kick us off the fucking plane. Then they're like, we're not going to really know for an hour whether we can get new pilots or not. Now it's 2 a.m. Then they tell us we can't get pilots. Your flight's delayed till 9 a.m. So then we go outside of security, call 30 different hotels to try to get a hotel. All of them are completely booked. So then we try to go back. Can't get through security because we're too early for our flight that's now been delayed to 9. So all the walls start to close in. And Frankie and I just realized at like 2:33 in the morning, we're looking around, dude. It's just zombies laying on the fucking floor. Not even in the actual gate part where there's like seats. It's just zombie land of people finding like a plot of land that's 4 feet by 4 feet that you can actually sleep on. And we just were among the people in the Atlanta fucking Hartfield fucking airport, whatever it is. We slept there. I'm
gonna really lose a lot of sleep over this story, Riggs. This is tragic. So this is like Macbeth. Poor Riggsy and Frankie had to sleep with common people in the airport. Oh, the horror!
Sleep with You imagine if that fucking happened to you? Can you imagine if that happened to you?
If it happened to me, you wouldn't hear.
What sort of stink you would make about that?
You wouldn't hear a goddamn peep.
Okay,
this is early Barstool. The horror.
Clearly.
I remember when I was.
We had to look amongst the people. Oh no, Riggs! From the 18th hole at the Masters. Oh, Riggsy.
If this happened to you, it would be the biggest meltdown. You'd be tagging every fucking airline and hotel in the world on Twitter, freaking out about it.
Riggs, what'd you think about the Dude Perfect guys getting invited to the Green Jacket dinner?
Thing I thought was weird, like because they have a huge following. So what we say it's going to come off as like jealous. They have 57 million followers on YouTube, so it's almost like when you have that number of followers, you can give those guys whatever they want. I thought their video where they were hitting like with baseball bats and hockey sticks, they're hitting like balls around Amen Corner at Augusta. I thought that was just a waste of that opportunity. Like people want to hit golf shots around Amen Corner at Augusta. They don't want to hit like
it
is.
What
I mean? I thought that was weird.
I agree with your take a little bit with those guys, but they're like an alternate universe or something.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who actually likes
kids.
Dude Perfect. Is that it?
Kids.
It's like who finds it interesting, but the numbers don't lie. So it's like if people criticize us and we're much smaller, but it's like, all right, well, don't watch it. It's like, we don't care. That's kind of them. It's like their method works. I don't know how, but it does. So good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's kind of how we felt about it. Like, yeah, you want to chirp it. You want to be like, what are these guys doing? This seems so lame. And then their video had, I think, 5 million views in the first 24 hours or something.
Stupid numbers.
All right, I mean, okay.
Stupid numbers.
Yeah.
All right. That's the rundown.
See you guys.
See ya.